and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment as the Tennessee Titans get it done. They defeat the New England Patriots 20-13. I believe I had this. And you know what? I gotta give a lot of people credit because a lot of people also had this, even beyond the Tennessee Titans fan base. People were actually paying attention, mainly because it was the New England Patriots more so than us, to be honest with you. But people were actually paying attention to this matchup, actually analyzing this matchup, and to anyone that did, it was obvious who the better team was going to be in this game. And ultimately, it was obvious who the better team was tonight. And we saw who got it done tonight as the Tennessee Titans get it done. I think there was just an echo, but that echo should now be fixed. I have to hide one property on my microphone, but that should be fixed now. Sorry for the echo. But now we move on to Baltimore. But before we do that, let's celebrate because we end the Patriots dynasty. I do believe Tom Brady is leaving this team. I do believe he will be leaving the New England Patriots. I believe this is the last game he will ever play as a New England Patriot. He will, however, be back. I believe for a different team next season. Am I still having echo issues? Okay, apparently I am. Hold on, let me listen to myself and try to fix it. I apologize. Let me try to fix this real quick. And then I will continue because I know how annoying that can be. Yeah, there is an echo for sure. Okay. Let's see what I can do in terms of fixing that. Let's try if I mute this microphone. If I can still be heard at all. Apparently I can't, but I might be able to. If I can't, then I'm going to have to do something else. That's going to take like 15 seconds in order for the stream to catch up. All right, so we're good now. Okay. So, it's saying that I have no microphone on, but I do. So, there's like a hidden microphone somewhere that's recording. I don't know why. So, the Tennessee Titans get it done. They end the dynasty. They ruin the New England Patriots tonight. And again, anyone that had any, that just took the time, just to look at these teams, it was clear as day that the Titans were the better team, and they proved it today. We're on to Baltimore. But before we get into Baltimore, we have to discuss this game. And this was a game that, although, again, I was very confident, very comfortable with the Tennessee Titans heading into this game and how they matched up with the New England Patriots. This game did not go how I thought it was going to go at all. If you saw me on my Tighten Up Thursday, okay, this Thursday, I was going on and on about how I don't think we're going to be able to run the football. How we're not going to run the football today, how Bill Belichick is going to stop the run today, that there's no way we're going to run the football successfully, that ultimately it's going to be the passing game that gets us over the top. But Bill Belichick, for some reason, he gave us the run game today. I mean, trust me, I do believe we were pushing him up front. I mean, our offensive line was dominating their defensive line today. I was very impressed, honestly, shockingly impressed with our offensive line and how easily we were pushing the Patriots defensive line. But I don't think they dedicated as much resources to the run like I thought they were going to, and that they definitely should have, as Derrick Henry finished with how many rushing yards? Or was it 160 something? He ended up with 180 almost rushing yards he ended up today. Incredible. Where, I mean, they did shut down our passing offense. We only had 72 passing yards by Ryan Tannehill. Derrick Henry, 182 rushing yards. I can't believe it. I mean, that's the one thing you had to stop to me if you're Bill Belichick. And trust me, again, our offensive line was pushing around their defensive line, so a lot had to do with that. But I am shocked that Bill Belichick and this New England Patriots defense did not at least take away Derrick Henry today. That's what I expected. If I was Bill Belichick, I'm going to say, okay, if Corey Davis and A.J. Brown and Jonnu Smith, if they want to beat us, they can beat us. Although I know how talented that they are, I'm going to go up against that in the cold, in a little bit of the rain, as opposed to going up against, and actually there was no rain, but definitely the cold, as opposed to just trying to tackle Derrick Henry all day. And by the fourth quarter, he was running over the defensive backs. He was running over Devin McCourty. He was running over J.C. Jackson. He was having his way, against this New England Patriots team, as we just had a super chat that came in. Thank you for the super chat, Ty Brojan Mojito. I'll read it later. So we were absolutely able to impose our will in the run game, and I can't believe it. I was here saying I guaranteed that Tajay Sharp was going to come down with a touchdown, and I forgot to actually update the score. I assumed it was going to be 14-13, but we got that late touchdown. Let me update the score. And, but yeah, I assumed Tajay Sharp was going to get a touchdown, that he was going to do his thing. I assumed that, Corey Davis and A.J. Brown were going to get involved early. No. Ultimately, the hero today in terms of the passing game is Anthony Firkser. Firkser, I barely know her, right? I mean, Anthony Firkser killed it today with the 2 catches that he had. One of them was for a first down that almost and essentially since the game. So that was huge. So first quarter, the game starts out, and we let the Patriots drive. And again, I'm tired of seeing people driving on our defense. Look, I know it's a bend but don't break defense. But Adoree Jackson was back today, and you saw early how rusty he is. He was having his struggles early in this game. He was definitely having his issues, just in terms of getting it back into the football rhythm. You saw on the Julian Edelman touchdown, Adoree Jackson didn't even know he had the ball. There was another instance where Adoree Jackson just was really unaware of what was going on around him, and you saw this very early in the game, but he did get in the rhythm late, and he had a great stop and a great pass defense later on in the game. I want to say in the third or maybe the fourth quarter. But yeah, even with Adoree Jackson back in the first quarter, first half, and for most of this game, we still allowed the Patriots to drive on us. And people are going to say that Tom Brady's done, and people are going to say that Tom Brady's finished, and I'm not buying into this discussion. When Tom Brady was sitting in the pocket with time, he was still dissecting our defense. He was still finding his guys underneath. He was still setting up his offense successfully. He was still doing the things that he needs to do, even at the age of 42 years old, in order to give his team the best opportunity to win the game. Unfortunately for the Patriots, he's throwing to Julian Edelman and a bunch of idiots. I talked major trash about Ben Watson, and he kind of killed us today. But Ben Watson is 38 years old. Dude, this guy's done. I mean, he still looks good, but he's done. He has no speed at this point. He had a great catch against J.R. Brown, but he's done. What are you talking about? Forget it. What are we talking about? Ben Watson, Matt LaCoste, I didn't even see him today. Philip Dorsett can make the occasional catch. N'Keal Harry's still a clown. He doesn't know what he's doing now. He's just running around, running routes. He doesn't know what he's doing now. Mohamed Sanu can't do anything. He can't get open. The Patriots wide receivers stink. And the offensive line is still, good in terms of pass blocking. Run blocking, it's okay. Now it's getting very sick in the first quarter, second quarter, why we can't set the boundaries, why we can't set the edge. I didn't see Harold Landry really being at fault for that, so I'm not going to call out Harold Landry, but I will call out Camilo Correa. I will call out when J.R. Brown was in the game, he wasn't doing a very good job. Rashaan Evans, who was fantastic on the first and third down stops at the goal line. He was terrific. He was fantastic. He saved 4 points today, and that's huge. I mean, Rashaan Evans today, in fact, in terms of the credit that needs to be given out, number 1 is Derrick Henry. Number 2, I think, is Rashaan Evans, because he saved 4 points on the board. Without those 4 points on the board, we probably end up losing this game. Probably. I mean, there's still a lot that could have happened either way. But honestly, with those 4 points that Rashaan Evans saved, he was fantastic there. But a lot of these other ones, when the Patriots are moving the ball up the field, he was at fault a lot of times in terms of why they were able to, easily go to the edge and get first downs. Kevin Byard, he needs to come down and make a larger impact in the run game, period. He is not making enough of an impact in the run game, period. I need to see more from Kevin Byard in the run game. Yes, even as a free safety, I need to see more from Kevin Byard in the run game. We've seen Byard be integral to this run defense in years past. Kenny Vaccaro is only going to do so much. Byard needs to make his presence known in the run game. He's doing anything but. He's just, being the last safety valve option. And again, I know he's a free safety, But there's plenty of free safeties that come down and make an impact in the run game, and we need that right now because although Austin Johnson and Daquan Jones, they can get a push. They're not gonna get a big impact. If you get one solo tackle out of either one of those two in the game, you're pretty surprised. If you get two, it's a miracle. Can you imagine Daquan Jones getting 2 solo tackles in one game? There's no way. I mean, he's just a guy that's going to be in the area. And then he'll always, he'll tap a foot or a leg and get an assist. But solo tackle, that's not Daquan Jones. So if Daquan Jones ain't going to do it, if Austin Johnson ain't going to do it, Jeffrey Simmons, I love Jeffrey Simmons. And he was a big reason why on that third down, why Rashaan Evans was able to burst through and able to stop Sony Michel. I want to say it was Sony Michel on that goal line third down. Okay, this is what I understand. But we need to see more up front. We are weak up front. I don't know why the Patriots didn't run the ball more today, as Sony Michel ended up with over 4 yards of carry, as Julian Edelman easily ran into the end zone. I thought they should have done what we did. Because we have been in the passing game too quickly to me. I don't know why we did so. The running game was working, and I was shocked at how well it was working. But there were multiple first and second downs where I felt we should have thrown the rock, especially in the fourth quarter. I thought we were playing very conservative in the fourth quarter. But yeah, you saw how the game started. It was back and forth. The Patriots are moving the ball out now. I don't know why we're so weak up front. I don't know why. But our secondary is back to being good. It's a good secondary. They allowed their passes for sure, but with the Dory Jackson back in there, they're going to make enough passes to defend enough. I just get messed up on this term. They're going to defend enough passes. Let's say that. They're going to, defend enough passes, get enough pass deflects, and get the occasional turnover. So our secondary is now good for the most part. I mean, we love to have Malcolm Butler out there, but I think Tremaine Brock's actually doing a fine job. So, our secondary is good. We're good on the secondary right now. But up front, man, and now Jayon Brown is hurt, and he wasn't playing very well in this game anyway. But now Jayon Brown is hurt. We have some issues up front. And this is a bad time to have issues up front, as the Baltimore Ravens are going to run the football on us. But ultimately, the Patriots didn't commit to the run, and they don't have a running quarterback in themselves, so we were able to get away with it today, and thank God for that. So, yeah, back and forth action in the first quarter, and then we had a couple 3-and-outs, which was concerning at the time. But we got that touchdown right before the half, and, that was huge. And I think that was pretty much the turning point of this game. And then can you guys believe this? Oh, this was so appropriate. What a storybook, ending here. Just like a storybook, actual, circular storytelling here. As in the end of the first half, Logan Ryan drops an interception that would have been a pick six, and then he gets a pick six to end the game. How poetic was that? That was one of the most poetic storytelling I've ever seen on a football field. But I was so frustrated with Logan Ryan there. I mean, we've been having the debate on this channel whether or not Logan Ryan is a Pro Bowler. He didn't prove it there. He proved it at the end of the game. I would have loved to have seen it, at the end of the first half, but at least it came eventually, and at least he got it eventually. So props to Logan Ryan for that. So, back and forth action, 14-13, and remember, my prediction for this game was Tennessee Titans 28 to Patriots 27. So we were right in line with my prediction. During this football game, and then shockingly, the points stopped. The points actually stopped. Not another point was scored except for the Logan Ryan pick six at the end of the game. It became a much more defensive game, and this is where I do have to be critical. I did not like the coaching in the second half. I thought we played very scared. Very, very, very scared. Now, we look at the third quarter is not that relevant. We can just skip to the fourth. Although, one thing in the third is relevant, and that is the Ryan Tannehill interception, but I'll just get to that when I talk about Ryan Tannehill in general in a moment. So, I did not like the play calling or the coaching in the fourth quarter, specifically the second half, but more specifically the fourth quarter. I did not like it at all. I thought we played scared. I thought we coached scared. I thought we played scared, totally scared. And I know a lot of people are going to say what Mike Vrabel did, trying to pump the ball and waste time, was genius. That it was smart. That he was, taking a page out of Bill Belichick's playbook. And it was appropriate. It was poetic, because he was facing Bill Belichick and he was able to pull a Belichick on Belichick. And a lot of people loved this. I did not. I wanted us to go for it on that 4th and 3rd, or 4th and 3, maybe 4th and 4. Let's say 4th and 4. I want us to go for it. I want us to absolutely put our foot down their throat. And I don't know why Mike Vrabel, who's been aggressive all year, decided not to be aggressive when it was finally really time to be aggressive. So, we do this thing where we're running down the clock. But see, now we're playing this game up 1 point. Up 1 point. We're playing against the clock. With 5 minutes, this is ridiculous. We're just like, we just want this game to be over. Come on, clock, just wind down. Just keep winding down. Let's just get every second we can out of the clock. Look, there's only one way this game is ending. Well, at that time, there was multiple ways, but you can summarize the whole game down to this one thing, okay? Ultimately, with 6 minutes and probably 46 seconds before we started running it down and got it down to 5 minutes. This game is either going to end because we will either stop Tom Brady and the Patriots offense or we will not. The game is not going to end because the Patriots ran out of time. No, they were going to get the ball back with 5 minutes left. That's plenty of time. Plenty of time. The game was either going to end with us stopping the Patriots or us not. Right? That's how the game is going to end. And if the Patriots are going to score, which, to be honest with you, even as a fan, I totally thought they were going to score. I still want some time left on the clock because you know what was a disaster scenario, and it didn't happen. But I'm just telling you, that you felt in your soul this was what was going to happen. Because we ran down that 1 minute and 50 whatever seconds we ran down. 1 minute and 46 seconds we ran down. I'm going to say I knew because I was wrong, but I felt Brady's going to go all the way down into field goal range. Then they're going to run the clock out on us. Then we're going to get the ball back with like a minute left, down 8, down 7. Let's say down 7. And we're not going to have enough time. That's what I thought. So we were playing against the clock, like, we just want this clock to go down. Come on, let's get every second. Come on, clock, go. When the clock isn't the enemy, that's the enemy. We need to take the fight to them. That's just one thing that I got frustrated by because this was Jeff Fisher-esque. When Jeff Fisher tried not to lose, when Mike Munchak tried not to lose, when Ken Wisdom tried not to lose. Luckily for us, this Patriots offense was, pretty awful. I mean, today they're trying to do as best as they could, but in general, they've been awful. If we pull this stunt against the Chiefs, it's going to come back to haunt us. If we pull this stuff against the Ravens, it's going to come back to haunt us. Even the Houston Texans, it will come back to haunt us. Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, and Lamar Jackson. 1, 2, and 3 would have went right down our defense, scored, and then we would not have enough time left on the clock. So you just see what happens when Mike Vrabel has to make these critical decisions. It worked out today, which is the very least. I can disagree with whatever he wants, but as long as it works out today, it works out. My biggest problem with his decisions have historically been they don't work out. So today it worked out. Okay, so fine, it worked out. So with that said, we do that. We were able to get this stop on defense. We were able to force them to punt the ball. I couldn't believe they punted the ball, but they actually punted the ball to us. And then we're able to run down the clock. Ryan Tannehill with a fantastic feed to Anthony Ferguson, get the first down. Derrick Henry gets another first down. We punt the ball back with about 20 seconds left. Logan Ryan gets his pick 6, and then we're able to stop them on the ensuing kick return. So all that was fantastic and great. So we look at the individual performances, and let's start with Derrick Henry, because that's where we deserve to start, because he's the MVP. Okay, he's the MVP, and, he's the co-MVP. I give he and Ryan Tannehill both equal share for why this run has been as good as it's been for us in the past, how many weeks now? 10 weeks? Now 11 weeks. It's because of Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill, but they're co-MVPs. One is not more deserving of MVP than the other, although today Derrick Henry is definitely deserving of the MVP as he had 182 rushing yards, more than double the passing yards we had today. Derrick Henry's fantastic. He needs to be extended. And it's just crazy how much of a beast this guy is, really. I mean, this guy ran for over 2,000, over 2,200 rushing yards in the SEC his last year for Alabama. You know, he's racking up the rushing yards he is now. He needs to be extended now. If you franchise him and extend him later, you're just prolonging his second contract with us. And I'm telling you, probably by the end of the second contract, he might be done. He might not be. It just depends. It always depends on running backs when it comes to that second contract. So I'm not going to say one way or another, but I want to say let's get him extended now. Let's get as much as we can get from him right now. And the franchise doesn't really do that to me. It just delays the inevitable extension. I think it's almost inevitable unless if they let this guy walk. I don't care. He's going to want to be the highest paid running back in the league. Pay him. Because he won us a playoff game. Period. I mean, and you can't really say that about how many running backs in this league that they can actually win you a playoff game. And he did that today. And if this is our formula, we need to stick with this formula. We need to stick with this running back. That's what we need to do, period. Because, look, you can go in, you can invest a first and second round draft pick. You may end up with a Leonard Fournette who's picked at number 4, who's a very good running back, but he's not really winning games for the Jaguars, is he? Or you can go for the second round and end up with a new Bishop Sankey. We have a formula. It's working right now. It's great right now. Extend this guy. And then here's the thing, people. Here's actually a truth. You do realize, in terms of just statistically speaking, and even when you consider impact, he's nearing Eddie George. No cap. The fact that this guy, we didn't make the playoffs last season. Well, actually, we didn't even back up for last season. He and Mariota were co-MVPs for that comeback in Kansas City. So he was a co-MVP in that playoff game. He was integral to us winning the 4 straight games we did to make the playoff run we did last year, even though we didn't actually make the playoffs. We were 1 game short, but he was integral for that. He was integral for this playoff run and won this playoff game. People, this is nearing Eddie George in terms of productivity, impact, story. Chris Johnson, same thing. Like, he is already going down as one of the best running backs in franchise history. He's still behind Chris Johnson and Eddie George. And I'm just worried about Teddy Dynasty. Don't talk to me about Earl Campbell. He is nearing Eddie George and Chris Johnson. In fact, he might have passed. It's hard to pass Chris Johnson with his 2,000 yards. But some people are going to argue him over Chris Johnson. And I will listen to those arguments. I'm not going to jump on those arguments, but I will listen to those arguments because those arguments are based on the fact that this guy has done stuff in the playoffs and Chris Johnson never did. Interesting discussions we're having now. But anyway, and hey, and also consider this. When was it that we actually turned the corner and actually became a winning football team for the past 4 seasons? It's when Derrick Henry joined the football team and when he became an integral part of the football team. We committed to run the ball with DeMarco Murray and Derrick Henry. Interesting indeed. So, we move on to Ryan Tannehill, who was the second best Tennessee Titans quarterback today. No, I still love Tannehill, but it's true. Okay, so Tannehill almost choked, big time. This was his worst game for the Tennessee Titans, which is saying a lot because he's been great in every single game. But today it was awful. Mainly not because he was consistently awful. He wasn't consistently awful throughout the game, but the mistakes he made were crucial. The interception, I don't know what the hell it was. He just threw the ball up there, and I've seen Mariota do that plenty of times too, and every time he does it, I don't know what he's doing. That interception was awful, but the near fumble, I mean, my goodness. Geez, that dude was this close to blowing the entire football game. And then he also had the one play, which you have to give him credit for and credit against, when he changed the play at the line of scrimmage on that second down, and then we got a penalty because Taylor Lewan had not been set yet, or he kind of like backed up. His stance wasn't quite where it needed to be. We got an illegal formation at the very end of the game. We were trying to run out the clock. you got to give him credit for switching into a nice play, but you also got to discredit him because he waited too long into the play clock in order to run that play and didn't make sure that everyone was set before actually having the ball snapped to him. So some credit against there. But you look at the fumble, you look at the interception. I mean, woo! And let's face facts. And I'm not going to blame them completely, though, because I don't know what happened to our passing offense in general. We weren't even trying to pass, number one. And number two, I mean, they have a very strong secondary. They have Stephon Gilmore and Devin McCourty, and Jason McCourty was out today. They have J.C. Jackson and Jonathan Jones. Like, these are good cover corners. But to only have 72 passing yards today is a little pathetic. I'm not blaming him entirely for that, but he had his mistakes. And without a doubt, this was his worst game in Tennessee. So the fear is that, okay, we've lost all of our momentum in terms of the passing game. I don't know why we didn't get A.J. Brown involved. You know, we gave Corey Davis the one attempt to make a great catch, and I really wish he would have came down with it. I mean, I know that's a very difficult catch that he was asked to make there, but, you know, just knowing that there are so few opportunities today, I would have loved to see Corey Davis come down with that catch that he unfortunately went through his hands down the right sideline. But, yeah, you look elsewhere. In terms of our passing game, A.J. Brown, he should have definitely gotten more touches to me, more attempts. We got on like one screen, and that was it. Come on, we got to feed this guy. What are we doing? But we kept running the ball. I thought we were running the ball a little bit too much in the fourth quarter on all those first and second downs in the fourth quarter. I thought we should have thrown a slant to A.J. Brown, just a slant. All he needs is a slant. He might take it to the house. I thought we should have stepped on their throat when we were up 14-13, which was literally the entire second half. I mean, literally the entire second half, we were up on 1 point. And we didn't, feel, I guess motivated enough or whatever, or aggressive enough to try to, absolutely step on their throats and get the win. And that is one thing that I do have to look at and I am concerned about, because this was not quite the same team we've seen. In fact, yeah, it was the second half. Yeah, this was not the team that we saw. This was the second half of this game was the early 2019 Tennessee Titans. They can't score offensively. They're just running the ball to all hell, and they're relying on their defense to make plays. And the defense made plays. They did. But with the juggernaut that's coming next week, and potentially the week after that, and potentially the week after that, I mean, we have a tall task ahead of us, ladies and gentlemen. When you're talking about going to Baltimore, going to most likely Kansas City, and then having to face the Saints or the Seahawks or the 49ers, because I don't think anyone else is going to win that conference. It's a tall task, but we're one step closer after today. And that is a very beautiful thing, ladies and gentlemen. So outside of that, I pretty much wanted to talk about... No, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. Let me go back to that super chat I didn't read. So Tybrosian Mojito says, Derek, quote, Greg Marshawn Lynch Jennings, Henry, pay the man. Here's to Big Balls, Vrabel, and the boys now on to Baltimore. Thank you for the super chat there, and I cannot agree more. On to Baltimore, and I am excited for it. So, was there anything else, like defensively? Yeah, so we got after Brady a decent amount. I don't think, let me check the stat line again. I don't think we actually even sacked him, which is funny to say. But yeah, I don't think we actually even did. Maybe once, but not really more than that. But we did get some pressure on him, and that was one of my tight end keys to the game. Just get some pressure on Tom Brady. And that's, again, what we were able to do, and, limit him to a 59.4 passer rating. So, that was fantastic. And, we didn't sack Tom Brady today, but we got some pressure on him. And I guess that's pretty much all you can ask. But, again, we did let a 4.5 yards per carry, and that's going to kill us against Baltimore because they're going to run for more than that. And with Lamar Jackson out there, with Mark Ingram out there, with Gus Edwards out there, we're going to have to wake up real quick. The effort that we gave today, well, maybe not the effort. I think we gave good effort. But the game plan we had today, the adjustments, and just the overall play. If we bring this play against the Ravens, we're going to lose by 2 touchdowns, and that's just going to be it. It won't be embarrassing. I don't think we'll get blown out, but it's just not going to be enough. I do think this was an off week for us. I don't think this is our best effort at all. I think there's much more left in the tank than what we gave today. But, hey, that's a great thing, right? We can sit here and say we didn't play our best game and we still beat the New England Patriots in Foxborough. We still ended the dynasty because I expect Tom Brady to leave and I expect Belichick to stay and him to move on to a new quarterback, maybe Jarrett Stidham, who's on the bench. So I'm looking at the stat lines and all that, the box score. Rashad Evans had 3 tackles for loss. I remember the 2, and he had a run stop as well. So, I mean, that's a great stat line for him. And again, I felt like some of these border runs, some of these runs outside that he could have definitely shown up and did a better job setting the edge and helping out there because we were very weak there. But in general, because he saved 4 points today. I mean, he saved 4 points today. That's huge. That's the game, most likely. Because although I still think, let's say we don't get those 4, let's say the Patriots get those 4 points, let's say we're down 17-13, maybe we score a touchdown if we're more aggressive offensively, maybe we don't. You just don't know. So to me, Rashad Evans, he deserves number 2 credit today. Outside of that, Kenny Vaccaro, let's get some credit for him. He had his big, was it a run stuff? Yeah, I want to say his big run stuff today. He had a pass defended as well. Logan Ryan, and he overall played very well with Logan Ryan. I liked his play today. And, we did exactly what we had to do. We limited Julian Edelman, which was one of my tight keys to the game. These other wide receivers were not making up plays. I mean, Ben Watson was the one I was, really dissing on. He's the tight end, and he was actually cutting us a little bit. But luckily, one of the big conversions he had was called back. So that was fantastic to see. But again, we're going to have to bring more than this next week. I mean, make no doubt about it. I'll just quickly talk a little bit about Baltimore, but trust me, we'll talk about this more extensively in Tighten Up Thursdays this week. I believe the game is next Saturday. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, and actually I can check that right now. Yeah, the game should be next Saturday, so don't make any plans Saturday night. You better tell your wife. You better tell your girlfriend. You thought we were going out next Saturday night? Oh, you're wrong. We're watching this damn Tennessee Titan football game. And yeah, it's at 7:15 Saturday night again. So, hey, my weekends are less busy, but at least I'm watching the Tennessee Titan playoff football, and that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So, to be quite honest with you, and this is still a party, so I don't want to ruin the party. I expect us to lose against Baltimore. That's what I expect. And that's probably a good thing, because I'm keeping expectations low, and I like low expectations. Low expectations are a very good thing. If we get it done, oh man, I'm gonna get a little excited. It's just weird because this has been a very strong run for us. Like you can tell, you can feel that this is a very strong team, but boy, the teams are the NFL this year is so top heavy. Man, it's just gonna be hard to even beating Baltimore alone. But then even if you beat Baltimore next week, you have to turn around. You have to face Kansas City. So I have a proposition for everyone here. Although actually this proposition may not mean much because I think they play after us. But you know who we need to root for next week? The Houston Texans. Now I'm pretty sure that they play next Sunday. So they're playing after our game. So we'll know more then. Because I think they're switching it up. I don't know why they're switching it up again. Actually, I like the format they had today where the AFC were the Saturday games and the NFC are the Sunday games. I thought they should have kept that next week. But if I remember the graphic correctly, they're going to be playing the Chiefs and the Texans next Sunday at noon. Bro, we need the Texans to win that game. Bro, I know if we beat Baltimore, then look, I guess we can beat anybody. But I'd rather go to Houston again. Oh, bring that ass here, boy. Oh, bring it here, boy. Because I don't want to tempt the gods too much now. Can you imagine if we beat Baltimore and we lose to Kansas City? How devastating. But bring Houston here. We can beat Houston. Did you see Houston today? Oh, we could beat the Houston Texans easily. Oh, bring them back in. Even the game we lost to them in Tennessee, I told you that was a fraudulent game. We can run that back. We'll beat the Houston Texans, no problem, no doubt about it. Okay, no doubt about it. I will be a Houston Texans fan during that game if we win next week, but we got to get to winning next week. So we will cross that bridge when we get there. When we get there. But for now, the Tennessee Titans get it done against the New England Patriots. So I will quickly move to the chat. If you have anything you want me to talk about, at me at Sports Fan Entertainment. Thank you all for joining me. We peaked at near 400 live viewers, which was fantastic. And sorry for the audio quality to begin this video, but it is all good now. We have Brendan Sanders, who said, as Sports Fan Entertainment, thanks, man, for your constant videos. Living in Taiwan, I'm not able to watch the games live besides today because of the time. I always watch you to keep up to date. Thanks, man. Thank you. And wow, I didn't know I had any supporters in Taiwan. But thank you for watching, and hopefully you continue to watch. Stanley Lomax said, as Sports Fan Entertainment, if Tannehill plays like he did today, do you think he should be benched? I mean, no. He's earned the right to play this far. You know, at this point, he has earned the, total, unless if he's having, like, a really, really awful half. Like, let's say he's going, like, in the first half, let's say he goes, like, 2 for 15. Like, if he's having that type of half, then maybe all bets are off, but I don't expect that to happen. I expect him to continue to play at least good enough to hold on to his starting job. So, yeah, no, under no scenario should Tannehill be benched. No, I just don't, I don't think that's a viable scenario. George Metza says, do you think Adam Humphries could have made an impact today? Yeah, absolutely. Because, ultimately, and we're missing him right now. I mean, Tajay Sharp is fine, and he's a fine number 3, actually. But, it'd just be much nicer to have Adam Humphries out there, getting some quick and easy first downs, moving the rock. That's something that could have definitely been used today. George Metza also asked, as Sports Fan Entertainment, does that TV next to you work? Yes. Yes, it does. Although I don't use it. I know it's just sitting up there, but I do not use it. This is not actually where I watch the games. SB says, as Sports Fan Entertainment, do you expect Tannehill to do better against the Ravens secondary? Yes, but apparently I don't know what's going on because I expected him to do better against this secondary, and he threw for 72 yards. So I don't know, but look, the Ravens secondary, the whole defense is actually pretty overrated. You can move the football on the Ravens. You can put up points on the Baltimore Ravens. Their defense is overrated. Now, they can turn the football over. They can get takeaways. They can get big stops, make big plays. But you can move the football on the Baltimore Ravens defense. That is something that you are able to do. And that is something I expect us to do. And again, next week, look, it was fine what we did today. It worked. It's 40 degrees against New England, and their offense stinks, so it worked. But, bro, if we come out with this offense next week, okay, we don't lose by 3 touchdowns. We got to score at least, in order to win the game, I think we got to score 31 to 41. I think we got to score probably maybe even 45. I mean, I think they're going to put points on us. Bro, did you see, why do I keep saying bro today? Did you guys see how unathletic sometimes we look up front defensively? Dude, we're about to go up against Lamar Jackson, especially on the boundary, how slow sometimes we look, how we're not really ready to compete athletically because look, Kevin Byard is not the best athlete out there. Kenny Vaccaro's all right. Our quarterback, Dory Jackson's great. Logan Ryan, he's pretty damn athletic. But our linebackers, especially with Jayon Brown potentially being hurt, Rashawn Evans and Wesley Woodyard running around out there trying to catch up to Lamar Jackson, that's problems. I mean, we're going to have to score points next week because they're going to put points on us unless if Lamar Jackson chokes. And by the way, now that's what I hope happens. I hope that with all this time off, Lamar Jackson, let's not forget, what was his playoff game last year? Ooh, remember how awful Lamar Jackson was in that playoff game? Oh, he choked like a dog. Oh, he didn't show up for that entire first half. We could see that again. Because Lamar Jackson, at his root, at his core, is still an inaccurate quarterback. Okay, maybe that's not true. But he at least was coming in. I think he's developed beyond that. I think he's improved beyond that. But, Lamar Jackson has shown the ability to be incredibly inaccurate. Let's say that. And we could see that next week. And if we see that, then all bets are off. All of a sudden, the Tennessee Titans they're at the table playing poker. They're playing. Oh, well, they're playing. They're in it. So that's what I'm hoping on. I think that's one of our one and only hopes, that Lamar Jackson just seizes and freezes up. And it's happened to a lot of number 1 contenders in in the playoffs. In maybe not recent years. Recent years, the number one seeds are just winning. I don't know why. But if you go back like 10 years, yeah, there'll be teams they'll go 13-3 regular season. That first game, they'll show up. They'll be so rusty from previous weeks, resting in week 17, this, and that. They'll show up. They won't do anything. You'll freeze up, and you can take advantage of them. That is something we need to consider. We're basically trying to emulate the 2011 New York Giants, trying to go 9-7, although they won their division. They hosted a playoff game. We're trying to go 9-7 and make a run. They went to Lambeau and won. They went to San Francisco and won. That's the formula we're trying to go after, trying to follow. I hope we can. I think we can. I don't know if we will, but I'm here for it. And I'm hopeful. Because again, the Tennessee Titans are playoff victors. Right? We are solidifying ourselves as one of the better teams in the NFL. Now, I would just love, we need a powerful regular season. Like, can we just go 12-4 next season, please? I mean, why can't we can we now become a legitimate superpower in the AFC? That's what I'm looking for next year. It's nice. I want to win a playoff game not only, as a wild card or as a team. Did we win our division in 2017? No, not only as a wild card, but actually as a team that won their division or even got a bye week and just go straight to the AFC Championship. Like, let's ascend to that. And I think that we will. I think we're headed for that, although we have a lot of things to do in terms of the roster and the cap and everything. But I love where we're headed. So, just answer a little more questions, and then we'll get out of here. KMR TV said, as sports fan entertainment, who would you want to see in the Super Bowl? Well, I want to see us. And, against us, if you ask me who I want to see, bring on those, man, all the teams in the NFC are good, though. Bring on the Packers. We can beat the Packers in the Super Bowl. Because if the Packers make it, then they probably have some great playoff victories, but I'm not afraid of the Packers. Oh, the Eagles I'd love to see, too, because the Eagles, but they're not going to make it. So of the three that I think can realistically make it, being the Saints, the 49ers, and the Seahawks, I'd love to see the Seahawks because the Seahawks are always going to give you a game. This season, they're always going to give you a close game. Now, whether you win or lose, you'll probably lose. They've won almost all their close games this season. But you're going to get that, and then you hope one or two plays bounce your way instead of theirs, and then you win the Super Bowl. So I'm rooting for the Seahawks. Realistically, I'm rooting for the Seahawks. All right, Nathan Hamilton says, talk about Mariota. There's not much to talk about in terms of Mariota. Today, he was on there. He threw a pass. I don't know what took him so long to throw the damn pass. Mariota was out. He was rolling. He's like, all right, I guess I'll throw it now. I don't know what took him so long to throw that damn pass. But I just like seeing him out there. Look, I'm sorry. I just like seeing Mariota out there running plays. I like seeing him getting some run. I want to see it. I love seeing it. I'm like, oh, there goes Mariota. Now, I don't know. Can someone tell me, maybe, am I the only one that's getting this vibe? I feel like Mariota is just sneaking out there. What was this guy doing out there on that 2-point conversion? And this happened two times. Mariota was out there. He was just like snuck in there. And then one of the teams will call timeout. And they're like, Mariota, what are you doing in the game? He's like, oh, my bad, coach. I just wanted to get some run, too. I'm like, Mariota just keeps sneaking in there. They call timeout, and then he's out before the play even gets run. So I'm like, what is going on? Is he sneaking out there or what? What is going on? But it looks like they want to use him more. They're trying to use him more creatively or whatever. I don't know. But I love seeing my boy get some run. Give my boy some run. Okay? Give my boy some run. I want to see him out there. All right. Man, especially against Lamar Jackson, man. We're gonna need a quarterback out there running around. All right, Atlanta Fan 21 said, as sports fan entertainment, do you think Henry will become the highest paid running back since AP's $100 million contract? Sheesh. I'd have to go back and check the details of that contract because I honestly forgot. But I do believe he'll become the highest paid running back right now. I do believe that. We'll see. I think John Robinson will be a little hesitant to go into that, but I don't know how you can deny it at this point. Aaron Albano says, are you releasing a full bracket prediction video? No, I'm not. It's too late for that, but I'll just tell you right now. Right now, I have the 49ers versus the Ravens, and I have the 49ers winning. I'll just tell you that. All right. SB said, as sports fan entertainment, how do we sack Lamar Jackson if we can't sack Tom Brady? Well, because Lamar Jackson, he uses the pocket differently than Tom Brady. He manipulates it differently. He's a guy that's going to take more sacks because he's going to be looking to run and looking to extend plays, whereas Brady's going to throw it into the dirt or throw it out of bounds if he's about to get sacked. So we're going to get more sacks than Lamar Jackson 100%. There's a reason why Lamar Jackson, I want to say, has been sacked more times than Brady on the season because Brady just sits on his little pocket. And if you're about to sack him, he's going to throw it down. Look, he was almost sacked. And then he threw it up, remember? And Daquan Jones almost came down with it. So that's what Brady does in order to avoid sacks. So I'm not too concerned about that. I am a little concerned. I was more concerned about how they're going to run the ball on us more so than throw it. But they will have success throwing it as well. All right, C's upset as sports fan entertainment. Is Ryan Tannehill the future? And yeah, he appears to be. But again, today is why people just franchise tag him, bro. You don't need to go all in marrying this girl. You just met this girl. You just met her 3 months ago. And this was a bad date. So you've been dating this girl now for 3 months. Y'all been having some great dates. It's the love of your life. We just had a bad date with our girl. This was a bad date. She ordered the baby bag ribs and she got some on her nose and then she wiped it and then it wiped off her makeup and you were looking at her like, ugh, what's going on there? And then she farted at the table and you're like, damn, she's kind of disgusting. Now she's letting loose a little bit, right? Which is cool. She's getting comfortable around you, but damn. Okay, now this was a bad day with your girl. So now you go back and you reevaluate. And you're like, okay, maybe I shouldn't marry this girl. Maybe let me just do the damn engagement ring, aka franchise tag, and then we'll be just fine. Franchise tag. All right. SB says, at Sports for Entertainment, do you think we need another running back that is not Deion Lewis? It's so obvious what we're doing when Deion Lewis is on the field. And absolutely, it's the most obvious thing in the world. Although, for some reason, today we decided to have a 3rd and 9 draw play, which was absolutely and utterly ridiculous. I could not believe it. When we ran that 3rd and 9 draw play on the 3rd possession of the game, it was incredibly foolish and ridiculous and really conservative. And again, why I felt we were playing very scared today. Very scared today. But we absolutely need a new running back. I mean, one's not going to fall out of the trees right now. Although, if you're the Seahawks, I guess you can apparently go on the street and pick up Marshawn Lynch. But we're not going to do that. But next year, absolutely, because if Deion Lewis is in the game, we're throwing the rock. Okay, most likely. And if Derrick Henry is in the game, we're most likely passing it or he's going to be pass blocking because he probably won't be out there receiving unless if it's a screen. So it is very, predictable. And I'm afraid the Ravens and their very aggressive secondary and defense may make some plays on that. But we'll see. Damian Mervin said, as sports fan entertainment, thanks to the videos, Titan fan in Tampa Bay, please speak on the Taylor Lewan penalties again. It's becoming a thing. What's the deal? He's just undisciplined. And then, the thing is, for the play, that's the only penalty I remember today. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the only penalty Lewan had today was when Ryan Tannehill switched the play at the line of scrimmage in the 4th quarter, and Taylor Lewan was not quite set. He needs to have better fundamentals than that, for sure. He's just undisciplined right now. I don't know. That's just him. It's frustrating for sure. But as long as he's not getting unnecessary roughnesses and, holding calls, I don't really have a big problem with that. I don't think he had one of those today. But that one was I think that was just an unfortunate play all around. I'm not really going to blame him too much for that. But it is definitely frustrating. And he's just an overall not very disciplined player. And that's just the truth of it. And it's a good thing and a bad thing today. It was a fine thing because I think that was the only play he got penalized. All right. Enrod740 wants me to appreciate Brett Kern, and a lot of people did too. And yeah, you have to give Brett Kern his due, man. Especially to pin them down at the 1-yard line at the end of the game. Fantastic. And Brett Kern is a Pro Bowler for a reason, and he showed why during the football game, and specifically at the end of the football game, which was absolutely fantastic. So with that said, we're going to end here. As again, the Tennessee Titans got it done. They defeated the New England Patriots 20-13. They move on to next week in the divisional round, where they will take on the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore. It will yet again be played at 7:15 Central Time. I will yet again be live for that, but before then, I will be live on Thursday for Tighten Up Thursdays as we give an extensive preview of the Baltimore Ravens and how we can pull off this very improbable upset. But we're in it, we have a chance, and that's all we can hope for. We're in the dance, baby. Until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See you in New England.